The competitive world has given us a challenging life, and many a times we cannot cope up with a fast-paced life, which leads to physical, mental and emotional disorders, which shatter us completely. In the modern world, mental health disorders have become a leading cause of disability globally, exacerbating human health. With the divine blessings of Lord Dhanvantriji, hope lies in Ayurveda. Dr. Navdeep Sharma, a spiritual healer from the city of the Golden Temple. His graduation from Sri Lakshmi Narayan Ayurvedic College, one of the oldest institute in our country, associate with Sri Durgyana Education Foundation. His masters from the University of Madras. His PhD in the role of Ayurvedic herbs in psychological disorders. Listed in the World Book of Records for promoting Ayurveda and developing a chain of Ayurvedic treatment and Panch Karma centers in various parts of the globe.
डॉक्टर नवदीप शर्मा को दुनिया भर में आयुर्वेद का जागरूकता फैलाने के लिए सम्मानित किया गया। लंदन में इंडो यूके लीडरशिप समिट में द वर्ल्ड बुक ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स ने दिया उत्कृष्ट पुरस्कार।
लंदन में इंडो यूके लीडरशिप समिट का आयोजन, आयुर्वेद को लेकर जागरूकता पर जोर, द वर्ल्ड बुक ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स ने लोगों को किया सम्मानित।
Commendable Global Recognition Award was received by Dr. Navdeep Sharma and Dr. Monica Sharma on behalf of ND Care Nirogam Private Limited for leading Ayurvedic services at the British Parliament, UK.
ब्रिटेन में बसा भारत का डंका, नवदीप शर्मा और डॉक्टर मोनिका शर्मा को मिला आउटस्टैंडिंग कंट्रीब्यूशन टू आयुर्वेदिक हेल्थ सर्विस पुरस्कार।
Dr. Navdeep Sharma has also been awarded the title of Pranacharya by the Akhil Bharatiya Ayurveda Mahasammellan.
आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर नवदीप शर्मा को युवा प्राणाचार्य की उपाधि दी गई। भारतीय आयुर्वेद महासम्मेलन में सम्मानित किया गया। कार्यक्रम में मनोज तिवारी मौजूद रहे।
नवदीप शर्मा को विश्व के सबसे युवा प्राणाचार्य की उपाधि मिली है। अखिल भारतीय आयुर्वेद महासम्मेलन में मनोज तिवारी भी शामिल हुए।
A very good evening everyone. Today myself Vidhi, I am a psychologist in ND Care Nirogam and I am a psychologist here. ND Care is known to provide the best treatment for autism around the globe. But today we will be shedding some light on the ABA techniques used and how we can cure certain things or certain symptoms of your child through ABA who are on the spectrum or autism spectrum disorder is detected. Few of the techniques. Before we start about ABA, I would like to brief you a little about what ABA is and how we use it. So the full form of ABA is applied behavior analysis, and this treatment uses reinforcement in structured and natural environments to help individual learn new skills. These skills can range from very simple to very basic and very complex as well. But these are broken down into small and measurable units systematically so that we can study these symptoms as well as perform the required action. ABA studies the behavior of your child very carefully and in detail, and one by one we start evolving a treatment plan around it so that we can provide an effective intervention regarding the same. Each deficit of the behavior can be catered to one by evolving your child to a higher level of cognition and development. This not only develops your child in a wholesome manner but also improve the quality of your own life as parents, because children who are on the spectrum, parents also find it a little difficult to deal with it. So before starting with what expressive speech is and how we can enhance it, the few tips which I will be sharing later on. First we move forward to language acquisition as a mode. So language acquisition starts basically in very different stages. I'll be explaining the different stages very briefly, and here you can also analyze that how you can have your child, in which stage your child is present. So the first stage in language acquisition is the pre-linguistic stage. The pre-linguistic stage starts from birth of a child to around 6 months of age, and during this time period, whatever sounds the child is taking out, it can be crying, it can be cooing, whimpering, all of these sounds are included in the pre-linguistic stage. As the name suggests, it is called as pre-linguist because the language has not been developed as yet. And according to linguists, which are people who study the language, they consider it as a stage where actually the language has not developed. Therefore, this stage has involuntary responses to stimuli, and whenever we are using language, it should be voluntary. So the involuntary responses are not considered as language. After 2 months, your child starts cooing voluntarily when we start establishing a routine, and basic sounds are also formed. Now, even though infants can produce linguist sounds, we are not considering it language at this particular one stage. Now, as we move forward to the second part of this first stage only, we come to pre-production stage. Now, pre-production stage involves the distinction of different sounds. Now, I'll give you an example here. Like, for example, a child hears different multiple sounds in a day. So the child starts to distinguish which sound belongs to whom. So maybe the child is recognizing their mother's sound is different from birds chirping outside, or when a utensil falls, the sound is different from their dad's voice. So distinction starts to develop in this first stage of development as well, which is called as pre-production stage. Now, after the pre-production stage, we move forward to the second stage in language acquisition, which is babbling stage. Now, babbling as a whole is where the children are learning many different things, new stimuli are entering into their environment. But babbling also as a stage has many different parameters. Discussing few of them today, I would highlight the first type of babbling, which is also called as repetitive babbling. Now, repetitive babbling has successive syllable sounds. The same syllable sounds are repeated again and again. So that is why it is also called as repetitive babbling. For example, the child starts saying Baba, Kaka, Papa. So the both syllables are of the same sound. So hence repetitive babbling starts to occur. And to a surprise, this babbling stage is universal. Even with the ethnicity, with the cultural differences, each and every child around the globe starts with the same stage of babbling, and the sounds are same everywhere around the globe. So here, after repetitive babbling, we also need to differentiate repetitive babbling from variegated babbling. Variegated babbling has two different successive syllable sounds in the babbling sound. So it can be like ma, me, or who, boo, any particular syllable sound where two different sounds are clubbed together by the child, and then the babbling sound starts. Now, after this second stage ends, which is usually from 6 months of the age till 1 year of age, we move into the third stage, where the name of the stage is first word stage. Now, the first word stage here, their parents might associate that the first letters of children start to establish itself, and parents also start doing the baby talk, where they want to associate the babbling sounds of the child with something which is actually an object. It can be to dog, it can be do to milk, maybe. In different ethnicities and languages. So the syllable sounds parents also start associating with different objects, as well as children seeing their environment, observing their environment outside also starts to inculcate new things, new vocabulary starts to develop in this first word stage. So first word, as the name suggests, children start speaking their first words, which are usually in most cases, more than 90 to 95% of cases are nouns. It can be mama, papa, or any other noun, ball, whatever more object they find in their environment. So this is how we move forward in the babbling stage to first word stage, that the first word children start to establish. Now, when the first word they have established as a noun, then after few months and weeks, we start going on to verbs, such as the child may say go whenever they want to go out for a walk, or want to go out to the market, or wherever they usually are associated with their own ethnicity and with their own vicinity. Now, after the first word stage, we move to the second or the fourth stage, which is the second word stage. But in the first word stage, a general tip for the parents also, that the words which you want your child to start using again and again, we need to start associating it with observation as well. For example, you want your child to be saying ball, so the ball should be present in the environment. It should not be that you are continuously repeating ball, but there is no flashcard used, there is no object in the surroundings which contains that this environment has a ball. Now moving forward to the second word stage. Second word stage usually starts at 1.5 years of age till 2.5 years of age. Again, when we are talking about children who are on the spectrum, this stage again might get delayed a little bit. It can be delayed by months, it can even be delayed by a few years in children with spectrum. So in the second word stage, two-word association starts to develop. Now these are meaningful associations because meaning we started associating in the first stage itself. Now here we also need to see that more and more words in the child's repertoire starts to establish, and more of words are seen and observed by parents as well as neighbors or surrounding, that your child has started to say a few more words. So I'll give you an example again of two-word association. It can be maybe mommy socks. Now mommy socks can mean two different things. It can be my mother is wearing her own socks, or it can even mean that my mother is putting on socks on my own feet. So the two-word association starts to dwell. Or it can be mommy cookie. It can mean that my mommy is eating a cookie, or it can even mean that I require a cookie to be eaten right at the moment. So two-word stage, the parents need to start associating meaning with more and more words and try to understand what meanings are to be associated with which words. Here in this language usually 11 consonant establish itself totally, and that remains in the ethnicity. So which culture, which language you are following. If you are following German, you are following Hindi, you are following English, or any other language for that matter, 11 consonants start to establish itself. There are 26 letters in the English alphabet, 20 of those which are the consonants. So 20 consonants are established in the later coming stage, but this stage 11 consonant establish itself according to the language. Now when language is getting more and more developed, in this stage articulation is also developing, but pronouns are not established, nor joining of the sentences with and or. These words are not established at this particular stage. Then in this stage, which is the second word stage, children also form misassociations, like overextensions is one term, where children start associating the same thing with every other object. For example, overextensions, if it's alive, it's an animal, it's a sheep. So the child has learned sheep, but is started to associate all the animals present in our environment like a sheep only. So overextending, they are overextending the meaning of one particular object, or like an example which I gave, animal. Then again, overextensions, the opposite of overextensions is underextensions. This also might occur in few children, where they are not associating the word fully in one particular instance. So for example, there is a child who has a cat in their home, and they've named the cat as Kitty. So that kitty, the child has associated that cat looks like the pet which is in my house. It has black stripes, it has maybe white little spots on it. Now when that similar child sees another cat outside in their environment, or whenever they are going to a zoo or park, they see a cat, they will not be associating that this is a cat. They will associate that the cat which is in my house named Kitty is a cat, and every other is something else. It belongs to some other species. So under extensions, not fully recognizing what the word means. Now after this, under extensions and over extensions, another thing which might occur at this stage is basic level of assumption, which is done at the parents end. basic level assumption includes you just need to understand what your child is saying. For example, your child is saying cookie, or maybe the words are unclear. Kubu, the child is saying. So the parents start associating, okay, my child is saying this particular sound and he has associated it with some particular object or any edible item and starts using that association. So parents also start understanding their child's vocabulary, as well as children also start developing more and more of their vocabulary in the coming days and weeks as they enhance with their age. Again, when we talk about children on the spectrum, this is again delayed a little bit, might be months, might be years, but to enhance this stage, to have more improvements in this stage, the parents should start those two-word association by themselves. If their child is not associating, more and more we should be keeping it in the environment. Now we come to the fifth stage in language acquisition, which is telegraphic stage. Telegraphic stage might sound a little technical, but telegraphic stage is very basic and very easy to understand, because in telegraphic stage what we assume is children start speaking like in the olden days how we used to write telegrams. Now telegrams in olden days used to cost, every word used to cost money. So to save some amount of money, people used to write as small or as short letters as possible. Like for example, somebody wanted to convey to their family that they've reached Paris on Monday, so rather than writing we have reached in Paris on Monday, they used to write Paris Monday. So 2 sentences, or might be 3 sentences, reached Paris Monday, 3-word sentence. Similarly, the child conveys the meaning in 3 words, sometimes 4 words. High level cognition children might also say 5 to 6 words joining, but articulation, total articulation, proper articulation, it's still not very much prominent, but that deficit starts to reduce itself in this particular stage. Last, we come at the critical period hypothesis, where all the language acquisition till the age of 3 years of age we have achieved. So critical period hypothesis says that children are born with blank slate. Famous psychologist John Locke also mentioned that children are tabula rasa, which means they are blank slate, and we need to fill it with more words, we need to fill it with more phrases in their environment, and only then they will be understanding or speaking more words, because their speech as an innate ability, this also needs to be clubbed with more and more of environmental cues and variations. Now after the speech is developed till 3 years of age, we move forward to enhancing your expressive language of your child. Now as mentioned, language acquisition, this was the normal development, but again spectrum children take a little more time, might be a little delayed, but to enhance their expressive speech there are multiple tips which we usually apply in ABA, applied behavior analysis, to enhance the expressive speech, but sharing only few of those, because there are n number of tips and suggestions present on the treatment methods present for enhancing the expressive language. Now the first tip or suggestion here includes providing visual cues. Visual cues can include flashcards, it can include real life objects, or it can even include the picture presentation as a whole. So picture presentation, flashcards and real objects. So I'll give you an example, like for example we want a child to be associating with a flower, that there is a flower present in their environment. So here we are also showing a flashcard or a picture to our child that this is a flower pointing towards it. Then we take them to the real life situation or the outside environment, where we are also showing a real picture of a flower which is present outside. So object association and the flashcard. When we keep this repetitively in the environment, the child will start to associate what a flower looks like and how it is pronounced. So we need to keep it in the environment more and more frequently. The second tip or suggestion would include embracing the power of play. Every child likes to play, but we sometimes believe that play is not part of learning. In childhood, play becomes an essential major mode of learning anything new or anything which we want to inculcate in their language. But specifically enhancing the expressive language, we can include play as a form of maybe storytelling, or it can be pretend play also, or we can use toys. So puppetry is also a good medium where we can enhance the expressive language of a child. Puppetry, their loud reactions, maybe sound of the animal of which you are using the puppets, so that your child is also engaged in there, and the sense of vocabulary also develops, as well as we are enhancing their expressive language here. But we always need to keep in mind that we have to perform this activity in a low pressure environment. We should not create a pressure over a child that okay, after this pretend play activity or after this puppetry, when we are conveying you any story, then you have to give certain answers also towards that story or puppetry, whichever you explained. Now this is very important to keep the environment very low pressure, because otherwise a child might get underconfident in his or her ability, that he is not able to answer any question nor he is able to express himself. So here low pressure environment is also very necessary. It can even include color recognition activities, where we are enhancing expressive speech through colors and maybe building blocks and number of outside stimuli we can use to enhance that expressive speech. Next, another suggestion we can add, which is part of our ABA therapy, is books and storytelling. Now books act as a very good medium to enhance the vocabulary, the articulation, maybe pronouns also, verbs, nouns, everything. Books is a very good medium, but considering the age and at which language development stage a child is, we need to enhance it properly. So this means that when we are introducing any new book, and it is the first stage when we are introducing any book, we need to consider that a child grasps more of visual inputs from the environment rather than the written word. So try you are including books which have more of visual input, or more of maybe visual cues, pictures in it, and less of words written, where the child is also associating the written word with the picture which is presented to them. Now books and storytelling. After that we move ahead to next level suggestion, which is creating opportunities for language usage. When we are not creating any opportunity, then we are only letting a child speak when we are giving any commands. It can be as simple as a greet to a stranger. Sometimes parents forget that the child has the vocabulary of a hello, the child has the vocabulary of saying maybe namaste or any other mode according to the ethnicity. But here sometimes, knowing also that the child knows how to say hello, parents give a command, okay, say hello to the stranger or say hello to whatever person they are meeting. So here, providing that opportunity at these stages, the child might take few seconds, might be delayed by 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Give that amount to your child, so that at least that when the time we are providing, that opportunity we are providing to our child. And similarly, more and more of opportunity. Greeting is just an example, but more opportunities for the words which a child is already saying, we need to inculcate more vocabulary for that. So opportunity creation is very important here. Next, providing options is also very essential to enhance the expressive language. If you are not providing any options, for example, maybe it can be as simple as what your child wants to wear in the morning. It can be 2 colored t-shirts, it can be red, it can be blue. So giving options in food, also giving options. When we are giving options, first it is also enhancing the decision making power, as well as enhancing their expressive speech. They are trying to convey you what they require at the moment. So more and more of expressive speech is also enhanced with the help of giving options to your child. Next, limiting screen time. Nowadays, more and more of screen time we are inculcating in children, also leading to more cases where autism is being seen because of the screen, more time limit of the screen. When we are reducing screen time, we are one way enhancing their expressive language also. So screen time, more of screen time, the child starts associating itself with the virtual world, and real time interactions are not more progressed because the child now sees a virtual interaction. So real-time interaction should be promoted more than the screen time or the virtual interactions which the child is seeing. Last but not the least, providing reinforcers is a very good option where we can enhance the expressive speech. Here, reinforcers may include food reinforcers, where you are providing any thing which your child likes as a snack or whatever favorite. It can be home cooked food, outside snacks, anything which your child likes. So that one attempt we are appreciating it more and more. Plus, besides food reinforcer, verbal reinforcers are also very necessary, where we keep appreciating the child more and more for their vocabulary and for their expressive speech. So this is our tips and suggestions how you can increase the expressive speech of your child. Again, at the end, I would like you to keep focusing on tabula rasa, as John Locke said, that more and more in the environment when we keep the words and the child is provided with exposure, we are filling their blank slates with words and phrases. Thank you so much, dear parents, for connecting with us. Have a good day. Thank you.